Howdy howdy, it's Dizzy and it's time for another Lioden tutorial. This one is pretty special. This is an event tutorial for the February event, one of the most important and grindy events of Lioden. A lot of popular breeding items are available for purchase during this event. Buffalo scrotums, lion scrotums, yohimbe barks, and grains of paradise are all high value items. If you're going to lock in for only one event during Lioden, let it be this one. Anyways, February's event is called Aphrodisia. As of writing, this event doesn't have any sort of storyline, so I'll just be going over the basics, event-exclusive things, and as always, how you can make the most out of this event. See? I can say most. This will help you make the most. This event uses heart shells as the event currency. You'll often see this abbreviated to HS. There are also some things from the event shop that you can buy for silver beetles, but I'll put an asterisk there and come back to it later. During the event, there will be 2 community bars to fill up, that being the flirt bar and the slap bar. You can fill these up by earning flirt points and slap points respectively. You can earn flirt points by flirting with other people's lionesses, which you can do every 15 minutes by going to the Aphrodisia area in the events tab. The player whose lioness you flirted with will then get a notification. They have 15 minutes to slap you away. If you succeed, you'll earn 1 flirt point and 1 heart shell. If they try to slap you away and you still succeed, then you'll earn 1 flirt point and 1 to 3 heart shells. If the opposing king slaps you, then you don't earn anything. If you're the one doing the slapping, then succeeding nets you 1 slap point and 1 to 3 heart shells. Just like failing the flirt, you gain nothing if you fail to slap. You can also earn flirt and slap points from specific explore encounters as well. The last basic thing I'll quickly brush over is thoughts. You can gain certain thoughts from different explore encounters. Happy thoughts, awkward thoughts, and frivolous thoughts. These will show up in your den, counting how many of each thought you've had. These don't do anything, it's mostly just for roleplaying. While exploring, you might come across certain encounters. Don't worry, you don't have to look at adult lions spending Valentine's Day together all month. There's a feature where you can block certain Explorer images from appearing. When you run into an encounter in Explorer that makes you uncomfortable, you can check this box to hide the image. This doesn't affect the rate that you get the encounter, it just blocks off the offending image. And this event has a lot of Explorer encounters that tend to make people uncomfortable with the imagery, so I recommend using this feature. And just like that, we're already talking about the shops. Let's start first with the flirt and slap shops. Let's start with tier 3. When tier 3 unlocks, the flirt and slap shops give you the ability to do a lucky dip. A lucky dip is paying 15 heart shells and getting a random decor or background. The slap shop will also open up the ability to PvP for silver beetles. If purchased, you'll be able to attack players for silver beetles. Just attack players at the bottom of the den like you would do normally, and you'll be greeted with the option to attack for silver beetles. The amount you win is dependent on the level of the king you're attacking times 10. So if you battle and win against a level 5 leader, you'll win 50 silver beetles. While battling against a level 30 leader will get you 300 silver beetles. If you lose, you'll just earn a small amount of experience. Speaking of silver beetles, remember that asterisk? There are some titles that you can buy for 1000 silver beetles. Slap shop exclusive titles become available when the 2nd tier is unlocked, while the flirt shop exclusive titles become available when the 3rd tier is unlocked. The uwu title always gets me. Here's the last thing that happens when tier 3 is reached. NCLs with special markings, bases, and eye counters can be found when claiming lionesses. While the markings can later be put on any lion in November through the use of piety, the bases and eyes are pretty exclusive to this event. To get these bases or eyes, you'll need to breed with one of these lionesses, so get them while you can. Now for what everyone has been waiting for, the items. It's probably no surprise to anyone that the buffalo scrotums, lion scrotums, yohimbe barks, and grains of paradise are the most expensive and sought after items. These are what you should buy, and they're pretty damn inexpensive. You'll see buffalo scrotums shortened to Buffy or Buffies, Buffy scrotes, or Buffy balls. Lion scrotums get called lion scrotes, sometimes lion balls, but I see that considerably less. Yohimbe bark is shortened to Yo, Yohimbes, or barks. And grain of paradise is shortened to GOP, or I guess GOP is how you would say it out loud. GOP. Keep an eye on the market around October to sometimes early January. That's when these items' peak season is. With that out of the way, let me give you what I think you should buy to make a profit. I've always found it much easier to sell Buffies. Buffies are something pretty much everyone buys and wants. From my experience, I found that yohimbe barks and lion scrotes have a much smaller pool of buyers. They're really only bought by people breeding hybrids or dews. Since Buffies produce at least 3 cubs per litter, it makes it popular for any breeder rather than only those breeding for non-inheritable mutations or hybrids. If you're worried about reselling later, I recommend selling your heart shells through Chatter. The conversion is typically 1 golden beetle to 10 heart shells, though it can sometimes go down to 8 heart shells. That would mean you're basically selling Buffys for 6 gold beetles, so I wouldn't really recommend this unless you want the GB immediately or prefer to get a guaranteed amount of GB. In case you're new to event currency selling, you sell event currency by making a chatter post in the event sales section. Advertise that you're selling heart shells and how many you have to sell. Be sure to include what conversion rate you're using. Once someone shows interest, they'll tell you how many heart shells they want and what they want from the stores. They'll go ahead and buy what they want and put it in a private trade with that player. Put in the items they requested with a buyout of the agreed upon number of GB. They'll buy it and the transaction will be completed. I personally don't like selling my heart shells, but the option is there. Alright, so obviously this event is best when you're spending as much energy as possible and explore. So let's talk about energy, starting with conserving it. I highly recommend keeping your studding either closed or with a high stud feed with a high minimum fertility. Breeding takes at least 10% energy to do, so it saves a lot in the long run to get fewer stud requests. This goes for your own lionesses too. Don't breed them yourself. I really recommend studying them to other players if you can afford it. Increasing stud prices in February is common, so studying out every girl for 28 days can be taxing on the wallet. If you can't afford it, at least try studying out your lionesses that have the lowest fertility. Make use of fertility increasing items like chasteberries and divine nectar, or black stallions if you have any of those laying around like me. I also think it's best for you to not attack anyone in Explorer or other kings during this event. I know that you have the ability to earn the silver beetles with the whole PvP for SB thing, but it's a whole 20% energy once per hour. It's such a bad trade-off in my opinion. And this also includes not attacking the heart shell hoarding lion. I know it's tempting, trust me, I'm fighting the urge every time I see him. I also want to go over some energy items. You have energy boosts, bone marrow, and fermented marula fruit. Energy boosts you can buy in the Oasis for 1 GB and it'll give you 100% energy. I don't use them often, but they're pretty damn good in a pinch. Bone marrow is available at Monkey Business and you can get those for 80 silver beetles. You can only use them once a day and they fill up 20% energy. I highly recommend using one every day this month. Fermented marula fruits are not going to be available anywhere outside the trading center or branch sales this month, but here's what they are if you have some laying around. Eating one can get you minus 10% to plus 10% energy. This basically means that you can either lose or gain 1 to 10% energy. If you decide to use these, I recommend only using them when you're at 0% energy and using them one at a time so that you can only gain energy. Some other energy related items are coffee beans, Red Bulls, and roasted lambs. These 3 are on my list of daily items that I use for February. They can be kind of expensive, so I usually save all year to be able to use them on both of my accounts. Coffee beans make steps you take in the Explorer cost you 1 to 2% energy rather than 1 to 3% energy, and it only lasts for 15 minutes. It doesn't sound very worthwhile, but it really makes a difference. The Red Bull and roasted lamb do the same thing as each other. Both will double the energy you gain in 15 minutes for 8 hours long, so long as your king has at least 59% hunger. This means that for the next 8 hours, instead of gaining 10% energy every 15 minutes, you'll gain 20%. If you have any day off, or at least the next 8 hours off, I definitely recommend using these. There are other things you can do to gain energy. My favorite is the hyperactive 30% boost. If your king has a hyperactive personality, you get a 30% boost every day. Don't worry if your king has a different personality, you can buy the Sangoma lion mask from the personality snake for 400 silver beetles. Another energy boost you can get is by leveling up. Every time your king levels up, you get a 100% energy boost. If you get the ability to level up, use your remaining energy, then level up to get the whole boost. The last thing I'll mention is the Gorilla Enclave. The Gorilla Enclave gives you a quest to find a specific hub for them every 24 hours. Oh my god, I just realized I didn't do mine today. It's fine, it's January, it doesn't matter. Anyways, the reward amount differs based on what difficulty you choose, but I almost always choose the difficult option than find any cubs in the trading center. If that nets me nothing, then I'll just re-roll the quest entirely. You have to pay 100 silver beetles to re-roll, but it's worth it to me. If you'd rather just avoid that entirely, go for the medium option. I think that's about everything. So far, this has been the longest tutorial I've ever made, or at least written. I think October or July might beat it out, but we'll just have to wait for that. There's so many things to cover in February that I wouldn't be surprised if I missed anything. Let me know in the comments if I did. I hope this all helped you out, and as always, feel free to reach me out on here or on Lioden if you need any help. And small plug, but I'm actually going to be doing a February event tracker for myself on Lioden. If you're curious, I'll link that in the description, and if you're watching during 2026, you can follow my journey with that. And that's all from me, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.